linking us together. C&N for your international media.
Good to see everyone. How are you? How are you? Welcome and hello, everyone around the globe, wherever you are watching from. Welcome to the Independent Artist Virtual International Roundtable with the C&M Media interview. I'm Carol Crawford in Seattle, Washington.
And I am Miles Crawford in London, England, and we are super excited about today's interview.
Yes, we are. We are. And thank you for tuning in. The Indie Roundtable connects the UK and the USA gospel music industry. And over the coming weeks, we'll be highlighting independent, emerging, upcoming artists in the gospel arena and connecting them to the industry on both sides of the water.
Oh, wow. And we have got a special selection of superstars and guests, VIP guests today. In our company today, we have Shonda English from the US, we have Dave Shirley from the US, and we have Cy Knightley from the UK. Big welcome, everybody.
Welcome. Hi. And then we also have another very special guest, and she is Lady T. She's going to tell you all about herself later, but we thank you, Lady T, for being on our round table and for your time. We really appreciate you as an industry professional.
Oh, no worries. It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to the discussion today, but yeah, I'm excited. We're ready to go.
Wonderful. Thank you. We are too. Well, listen, we're going to get started with some introductions. So we want to know who you are, where you're located. Tell us a bit about yourself and just a bit about your journey. We're going to start with Shonda, and then we're going to work our way around after Shonda. We'll have Dave and then Cy and then Lady T.
Okay, well, hello, everyone. I'm Shonda English, the Gospel Diva. I'm an independent gospel artist as well as the national president and senior executive of the Rhythm of Gospel Awards. And we are the largest awards that we honor independent artists. This is our 13th year. We travel, we move it around from state to state. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to get those independent artists out there on a big platform, televised around the world and networking and meeting the big wigs. Also, I'm a radio host of the Old Landmark Gospel Hour, where I do gospel music that we really don't hear that much from anymore. So it's a way to travel back in time to when gospel music was straight churchy, is what I call it. And of course, I'm a minister of music, organist, songwriter, novelist, all of that. But right now, my focus is on my upcoming project, the solo album that I'm coming out with, the radio show, and the Rhythm of Gospel Awards. So those three things have been keeping me extremely busy. So when they have nothing to do during the pandemic, come live my life.
Oh, yeah, very busy. Wow, wonderful. Well, thanks for sharing,
Thank
Shonda.
you for having me. I'm so excited to be a part.
Oh, wow. You're so welcome. Over to you, Dave.
Hello. I'm Dave Shirley. Greetings from Los Angeles, California. Wow. And I'm happy to be here with Carol and Miles. And I'm a national recording artist / actor. I've been pretty much singing since I was a kid, like 5 years old. I started traveling with my father, who was a minister at that particular time. He would take me around, I would sing, and I just kept singing, and I started playing guitar for a group. And eventually I just kept on moving. As a kid, I would travel to Ohio during the summer, and I was singing with a teenage group called Zap Band at that time. It wasn't Zap Band at that particular time, but later on they became Zap Band. And I was the lead singer for that group during the summer. And I would come back home and work. And as I grew up, finished high school and college, I traveled to New York and ended up in California doing stage plays. I did the Inquest of Sam Cooke, which I had the Delphonics with me also. And I worked with The Temptation. I worked with Rita on some of her shows. And then I also just completed a video, a prayer changes thing. Now my manager, I got one of the most wonderful, greatest manager, publisher in the world, Dr. George Logan. So she's been doing some great promotion and things for me. I mean, it's just, God is just moving and I'm enjoying the blessing. Yeah. Of course, I've been working I've been working in the aerospace on this. That was my full-time job, really. I was doing entertainment on the side because I worked in the space station. I worked for Hughes Aircraft. And I had a very good job. So I just did some entertainment on the side. And eventually my music ministry started really taking off. So right now I'm doing a lot of stuff on virtual and Zoom. And we just, like I said, we just finished a nice video on prayer changes things, which you can look forward to that real soon. But God is good. He's blessing and he's opening doors, and I give him all the glory. I'm just happy to be here with you all today.
God is good all the time.
All the time.
God is good.
Is good.
I was born by the river in a little tent, old and just like the river I've been running ever since. Been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. Been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me don't hang around. Been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, we will. Then I go to my brother and I say, brother, help me please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. Woo! Times that I thought I couldn't last for long, now I think I'm able to carry on. Been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
Thank you, Dave. Wonderful, wonderful getting to know you all. Si, you're up next.
Yeah, good evening, folks. Great to be with you. Yeah, my name's Si Knightley. I'm from London, in the UK. I'm a rapper, spoken word artist. I love to write songs as well. Sing a little bit, but I prefer rapping, to be honest. Thought I'd get that out there early. Better get it out there early in case you ask me to sing. Yeah, so I'm a very new artist, so I actually only released my first music less than a year ago. Last Easter, I released two tracks together on Easter weekend, a track called Calvary Hill, and The Third Day, and I've released three more tracks since then. But I've been writing songs since like 2007.
Yeah.
But it was one of those things where I never actually released anything. But yeah, I've always just had a love for music, love writing, love poetry, and I love to preach the gospel. So my full-time job is I work for a Christian missionary organization in London called London City Mission.
Oh, yeah.
And we're passionate about sharing the good news of Jesus, particularly with people on the margins, people who sometimes get left behind by the church or historically haven't been reached as well. So that's my full-time job. I'm also an elder for my church, so I'm involved in the leadership of my local church.
Wow.
I've a husband, got a wife of almost 8 years, two little girls who I've just kissed goodnight. That's basically me in a nutshell. Wow. It's good to be with you. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for sharing, Si. Good to get to know a bit more about you. That's wonderful, wonderful. And only a year, you said you just released your music after a year. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, let's hear from Lady T.
Hi, everyone. Good evening.
Hey.
Good morning, wherever you're watching from. Again, so it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Carol and Miles as well. I really, really appreciate it. And please check out Si's music. Like for me, definitely one of my ones to watch for this year. Like he brings it. He really, really does.
Absolutely. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, definitely one to watch for. Okay, so my name is Lady T. I'm a radio presenter, also like a live event host presenter as well. And also now budding into TV stuff. And then what else? I'm based in London, originally from Oxford. So I moved to London because of work. I've been doing radio for over 13 years now. It will be 14 years this year, actually, which is kind of like crazy when I think about it. I'm just like, oh my God, that long? Is it that long? But hey, it is what it is. Worked for one of the biggest media houses in the UK, Premier Media Group, but I worked on Premier Gospel. So I was there for about 7 years up until last year, January. Decided to leave, branch out. So that was great. Worked for BBC Oxford. I've worked with a little bit of TV with MTV as well. What else? And now I'm currently with a new station, Affinity Extra. They were absolutely brilliant, launched last year. And the thing is, I didn't really want to do radio for a while, but somehow I got enticed into it. And here I am again, about 7 months later, after leaving something else. But it's great. And then also I'm part of an organization called GMIA. It's called the Gospel Music Industry Alliance. And around April time, I was made chairperson for the organization. And yeah, a lot of people don't know about GMIA yet, but we're starting to come up. So basically what it is set up to be the governing body for UK gospel music, because like mainstream music, you have a lot of governing bodies that are able to help structure, facilitate, help in, just with the music industry in general. So there was a cry out for something like this. GMA had been operating for a long time, but then up until 2019, 2020, they had a massive restructure. So they had new directors put in place. And and we've just had a new CEO as well, Audrey Gray, who is absolutely fantastic, helping us to champion and push the vision forward. And yeah, basically GMIA is really, I'm going to read some of the things so I don't misquote, because I don't want to get into trouble. So I'm gonna Like, I don't want to get into trouble. They were like, oh, you didn't say this part. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to read basically what GMIA is about and what we're trying to do. Like I said, it is the governing body for the UK gospel music community. We offer memberships and services, and also helping with to provide community resources, subscription programs, and national representation with creatives and the industry body support as well. Also, we're here to be an active network for all gospel music and creatives who work within Christian and mainstream industry, and also to help connect and support each other. And we've got a massive project on at the moment in terms of like data and kind of stuff, because there's not much data because I was actually in the present, I had a meeting the other day talking about trying to find data on UK gospel and the statistics. There really isn't much, that they struggle. So our aim is now we're just trying to do this massive data launch to literally try and get as much information on the sector as possible. So and also we're here to be a knowledge bank and resource to all who want to find out about UK British gospel music, hence the data stuff, and engage with professional experts, service providers and activities. Also acting as a point of contact for external agencies and other bodies in the UK and overseas, to ensure a voice for the industry is heard on issues and matters of interest. Like recently, someone made a massive comment about gospel music in the UK and the representation, blah, 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 blah. We were able to chime in on that quite quickly, which was fantastic. So, people were like, oh, who's this? Who are we? Like, well, get to know, this is what we're doing. Also we are, we want to really encourage the development of greater industry infrastructure, which is lacking. So we're trying to get that sorted out, and also to increase creative productivity, economic growth, because the economics and the money behind gospel music, I won't go into that, but anyway. Also encouraging the professionalizing and standards of good business practice. We hear so many stories about artists, about promoters, and there's just no good practice or governance in that. So we're going to be trying to making sure that there's that in place, so that people don't try to basically just do one over on each other, or we've heard too many stories. So we're going to try and get that into place as well. And also for us to signpost specialist training and education and guide access to finance and fund and sponsorship as well. We're not a sponsorship bank. You can't come to us for money, but we're going to try and get money to be able to help to do certain things where we can, and just be visible and be supportive where we can as well. And then lastly, before I don't take up too much of the time, is to curate, stage, initiate or collaborate in the creation of events, which is a big thing, but obviously Corona just kind of stumbled that a little bit, but there's hope. And also to have exhibitions, sustain and maintain legacy and heritage as well of the music in any format material. Also digital and or virtual education as well for practitioners and for the public to learn about UK gospel and just the business and just foundations of music in general and the UK gospel, and also to understand and participate in the inclusiveness nature of gospel music as well. So there's a very wide range of things that we do, but yeah, that's pretty much what we're trying to do and make happen in the UK gospel. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. And what else do I do? And yeah, I think those are the pretty main big things. And I just I create content as well, where I can interview lots of different artists, and just it's a lot. And I have my own podcast as well. So yeah, I've got my own podcast as well, which has done really well. Restarted it back again in February, and it's been going very well. I think I didn't realize a lot of people missed me not being on a podcast. So yeah, it's good to be back doing that. Wonderful.
Awesome. There's a lot going on in the UK right now, and as you think about the UK and the US, the US is the UK is in proportion. The one state in the US is as big as the entire UK.
Yep.
And we have 52 states here. So just in proportion, but there's still a lot going on in the UK. And, you know, having an organization, a governing body is awesome, especially for artists that are trying to connect, trying to reach out, trying to get familiar with and know who is in the industry in the UK. I think that's a great thing. It really is. It really is.
It's a big task because, you know, I think people just want to be like, okay, can you do this? Can you do this? But it's like, okay, give us time, because this is a newly formed and there is a lot to do, and it's going to take it's a lengthy process, but we're here for it. And just to make sure that, you know, like in years to come, people can look back and just refer to GMIA like this is the go-to.
Right.
So, yeah, it has to be the go-to that everybody comes to as well. So
Awesome. Well, I just wanted to ask the artists, you know, as what does being an independent artist mean to you? What does it mean to you? I know, you know, I'm not going to say what it means, but I'd love to ask you that. So, you know, open floor, anyone can respond. What does being an independent artist mean to you? And is that your goal, to stay independent? Are you trying to get a record deal? You know, what are your goals and your aspirations as well?
Well, I guess I'll start. As an independent artist, well, first of all, no, I'm not looking for a major record deal. When I was born in Boston. My father was recording for Hob Records. Here, Hob Records during the 60s and 70s was the gospel label, and he was on that label. So I was kind of born into the gospel music industry. And when I moved, when the family moved to South Carolina, which is where I am now, and I started growing. I mean, I started playing the piano around 5. By the age 7, I was already playing the piano at my church. And then by the time I was 12, I was the organist, and I'm still on the organ now.
Oh, wow.
But my father, but my father, just as I was growing, you know, he would tell stories, he would share information. And one thing that he taught me, I think maybe I was probably 13 or 14 when his choir went into the studio. So my first song that was recorded, that I wrote and my voice is on, I was 13 years old. That was my first time in the studio. And so I caught the studio bug then. So I was just always in and out of the studio. But he taught me, he was like, as an artist, you're not going to make money from CD sales, because the record company is going to make money from your CD sales. You're going to make money on stage, on the road. If you sell CDs on the road, you get that. But if you're under a label, you have to make sure that they get their cut first. That's why so many artists, you know, who make it big end up going broke. You know, we really don't do that. So I said, okay. Then he said, but if you want to maintain control, what you need is exposure. You know, he said, you have the gift, you can sing, you can play. You know, sometimes I stand up and sing, sometimes I go to the piano and sing. I'll do a mixture of both. I might even get on the congas and play. It all depends on the vibe of the concert. He was like, so once they see you, they'll support you. You need to make sure that you're on the road, that you have the exposure. And that was the main thing. I just needed the exposure. So as I grew, you know, as I got older and started developing my sound, and my father passed in 2013, but he left me with a wealth of knowledge. I have his publishing company, so I control my own publishing. And Dorothy Norwood, she's a major gospel legend. She took me under her wing, and she was like, when I do my label, you can be under my label, so my name will help propel you, but you're going to be able to control what you do. You know, and so that's what I cherish as an independent artist, having the freedom to do what you want, how you want to do it, and keep your money. So doing all of that work so somebody else can get rich? No, I'm not doing that. So yeah, that's what I love about being an independent artist. Yeah, got a little freedom there.
Great. Wonderful. So I wanted to ask Dave. I know, Dave, you travel a lot as an artist. You know, as an independent artist, what does it mean to you to remain independent, or are you seeking to find a label or some type of deal? What does it mean to you?
Well, it means having the freedom to just keep marching and working and putting forth the effort, and allowing doors to open up, because I'm a believer your gift will make room for you. So I believe if I just keep putting forth the effort, putting in the work, keep faith in God, that everything's going to be all right. It's just like when I started out as a kid. I went from the fields to the engineering the space station because I kept faith, I kept working, I kept putting in the effort, and I kept believing that the sky is the limit. So that's the way I believe. I believe the sky is the limit. If I just keep the faith in God and keep believing in myself, everything's gonna work out. As long as I don't give up, and I'm not gonna give up. So I just keep believing and keep working, and doors will open up that no man can shut, because God is the answer, and I give him all the glory.
Yeah. Yes, amen. Amen. That's awesome. Awesome.
You see, that this is the wonderful thing about what we're doing today. We're sharing ideas, we're sharing knowledge, we're sharing experiences from across the water. You know, all of us have got experiences, all of us have got a story to tell, and each of us can learn from each other. And on the side of that, we've got our expert who's poised, ready for questions as well. But you know, I'm going to tell you this. I had this beat going on in my head. Do 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 do. You know it. You know it. Cy Knightley. When Carol played me that track, when she played me that track, I said, "Who's this?" Cy Knightley. Whereabouts in America he's from? He's from Croydon. What? That's just like 10 minutes around the corner from me. So, you know, that track is absolutely amazing, you know, and there's on my show, what we've done on my show, London Soul Radio, the Soul of London is a station that I play on, and it's a soul station, right? But what the music is so good that's out at the moment, I just fuse it in, you know? And so you're getting these people who don't usually listen to gospel music or those sort of tracks, listen to it like it's any other soul track or anything like that. And that's the crossover, that's the beauty of it. So Cy from Croydon, tell me how you put that track together, my friend. Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank you, Miles. No, I really appreciate that, man. You know, first thing, let me say big shout out to Tone Jones, because Tone is from the US, and he produced the beat for Kingdom Restoration, at the song I just released called Signs, and 2 of my other tracks. So actually, there's a lot of US production on the stuff I've released so far. I've got some other stuff coming later on in the year, which is going to be produced by some British guys. But yeah, there's that American sound in the raps that I really like, and I guess that's a big part of my influence as well. Like growing up, you know, my favorite secular rappers before I came to Christ: Tupac, Biggie, Nas, Jay-Z, the Neptunes, you know, like all those guys. So I've just, there's a lot of that US influence in terms of what I like. Even though the British sound has kind of moved a little bit more away from that at the moment, I love those beats. And so when I came across Tone's music, I was like, yeah, I want to create something with this music. I think, you know, for me, I really like what Shonda said about being an independent artist gives you a freedom. and that you cherish that as an independent artist. And what Dave was saying as well about just looking to God and him being the vision in terms of what I want to produce. I really echo that. And I think for me, being an independent artist and the music I produce is a lot about my ministry. And I just, the Bible is a story. It's the greatest story, and God is the greatest storyteller, right? So what I tried to do in my songs is tell stories from the Bible centered around Jesus Christ and the good news about him, and just put in lots of rhymes, lots of rhythm, and just take people on a journey through my songs. That's what I tried to do, right. And just get into the rhythm. I've always loved rhythms and rhymes, but storytelling is particularly what I enjoy. And in terms of communicating the gospel, Jesus did that constantly, didn't he? Throughout his ministry, he told stories. Right. So I think when it comes to proclaiming the gospel, whether that's standing up and preaching it, or singing it, or rapping it, or just chatting to a guy in the street, which is what happens to me quite a lot in my job. Telling a story, I think is so effective. So that's what I tried to do in my music. Yeah.
No, that's fun. Have you been to the US yet?
I have. Yeah, I went to the US. I've been to the US once in 2012. I went with my younger brother, and we had 3 weeks out of there. We had a great time. We flew to California, and we spent some time in San Francisco. Nice. And we drove out to Yosemite National Park, amazing place there. Wow. Had a tour of San Francisco. We went to Phoenix, Arizona, sort of Grand Canyon. That was a great time. Really enjoyed that. We touched in the South as well. Went to Rome, Georgia. And then we went up to New York, and spent some time in New York City at the end. Yeah, so really enjoyed my time in the US those 3 weeks.
Seven signs. 7 symbols. 7 signs. 7 symbols. Come see heaven's guide through these 7 signs. With each one, watch their levels rise, revealing Jesus the Nazarite as the Christ, as the light, as the vine. Each sign so sublime blows your mind. Each sign over time testifies, intensifies that he's the Christ. He's one of a kind and he's the prime in my rhyme. Though he performed many other miracles, he's point to him, he's not any individual. He is the Christ, Son of God, fully visible. Some are made doubtful, critical, cynical. We write these rhymes for the signs to convince you all. Lend us your time on the mind on a lyrical. Believe in his name and you will have life. Come see, be amazed, miraculous sign. First sign at a wedding in Galilee, Jesus chilling with the bit of the family. People eating plenty of lamb and meat, no more wine. Set the calamity, the servants followed the master's order. Filled to the brim many jars of water. As Jesus works the first of his signs, multiple liters turn into wine. Please see there's more to the story. It's vital you see my core oratory. Insightful you see my expository. Disciples believe cause I saw his glory. Like the fisher with son have been ill for nights. Close to death he went, appealed to Christ. Please come tears running, filled his eyes. Lord said to him, go, he will survive. Christ Jesus, miraculous healer. He is the spectacular feature. When he healed our weak, powerless man after 38 years in power with the geezer. Then the Jews had accused this chap, saying you can't carry your mat on Shabbat. But Jesus, who is the author of planets, he can heal us, he's the Lord of the Sabbath. What's next is highly astounding. His people surround by the side of a mountain, all gather round, and how can we doubt him? A small 5-fold feeding 5,000. Let us pronounce him king and then crown him. He is the prince Moses was announcing, and now they're shouting, surely we found him. He is the Christ, Son of God, know about him. See the signs of his fame. Jesus Christ is divine and he reigns. From feeding 5K to raising Lazarus to healing guys who were blind and were lame. Different miracles, no signs were the same. In every situation Christ overcame. So we believe that he's the Son of God, the Messiah, and we can have life in his name.
See the signs of his fame. Jesus Christ is divine and he reigns. From feeding 5K to raising Lazarus to healing guys who were blind and were lame. Different miracles, no signs were the same. In every situation Christ overcame. So we believe that he's the Son of God, the Messiah, and we can have life in his name. The disciples in the boat on the lake to Capernaum. The wind blowing and the waves started hurling them, and they couldn't row straight, it was turning them. When they saw a strange figure of concern to them, walking across on the water's surface towards them was the Lord of an awesome force and purpose, unaffected by the force of nature. He approached their boat with no thoughts of danger, defying the laws of physics. The Messiah from on high, the divine, no flaws or limits. The disciples are terrified, frightened, speechless. They didn't recognize that this guy was Jesus. He walked with ease upon the sea he made. The sovereign God had gone to meet his mates. It is I, you see, don't be afraid. Another sign, believe and be amazed. Who's the greatest of all time? You ready for more signs? Come and take a journey to John 9 with more rhymes and see what his report finds. Read the healing of the man who was born blind. The way he did it, I know that it seems odd. His mind is bigger than mine though, and he's gone. He made a mixture of muddy saliva for the blind man, which he rubbed in his eyes, and then he got him to wash down in the pool of Siloam. And he did it because the ruler of life holds authority and power every hour to bring hope to lives. Open eyes and remove the blindfold. He went home seeing and saw the sunshine. The Pharisees are more than unkind, but Christ gives sight to those who can't see, while those who can see will all become blind. Sign 7, arriving at Bethany, Christ prepared to do the sign of the century. His friend Lazarus died, was it meant to be? Bereaved Mary, she cried of a sense of grief. The Lord wept to a sign of his empathy, and the end of the line of his friend's disease. To the tomb when they buried him, we went to see to resurrect him. Yes, death's defeat. They reached the cave for days, he was laid alone, but Jesus told them to take away the stone. I am the resurrection and the life who destroyed death. He came to give it the major blow. The creator of life and the author, the almighty designer, the Lord who made the land and provided with water, will raise his dead man like Jairus' daughter. The people standing will be gazing, gasping soon. He was ordered at the grave, depart the tomb. The Son of God commanded him, Lazarus, come forth, and he obeyed the master's cue. See the signs of his fame, Jesus Christ is divine and he reigns. From feeding 5k to raising Lazarus, to healing guys who were blind and were lame. Different miracles, no signs were the same. In every situation, Christ overcame. So we believe that he's the Son of God, the Messiah, and we can have life in his name.
See the signs of his fame, Jesus Christ is divine and he reigns. From feeding 5k to raising Lazarus, to healing guys who were blind and were lame. Different miracles, no signs were the same. In every situation, Christ overcame. So we believe that he's the Son of God, the Messiah, and we can have life in his name.
Well, you know, you'll be going back pretty soon once all this things going on outside lists, if we can have anything to do with it, Simon. And I've just got to say thank you for coming my way.
Oh my. Oh my. Don't worry. Don't
I
worry.
knew Shonda would laugh. Carol, you know that song well, don't you?
When I heard that track, I said, who is she? Tell us about your, you know, thank you for coming my way and no worries. What were you thinking when you wrote those songs? Tell us about that journey.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Okay, well, no worries. Actually, that's something that I've said. I mean, I say it all the time. I'm the type of person, I have like a duck's back. When things happen, water, I just let the rain just roll right off. You know, I'm not gonna let it get to me, you know. And so I'm always saying, okay, no worries, you know, and that's just kind of who I am. Yeah. And so my aunt, may she rest in peace, the same year my father passed, as his baby sister, she passed in January and he passed in August. So my grandmother buried 2 children in 1 year.
Yeah.
And so when my aunt was sick, my oldest sister, Shirley, you know, she would say, well, you know, if Shonda was here, she would tell you, no worries, you know, pray about it, let God have it, no worries. And so I said, you know what, let me write this song while she's here. So I wrote it, let her hear it, and it was really, really rough. You know, I hadn't even done my background vocals. I basically just went into the studio, did a scratch track, and let her hear it, and it was unfinished. And she was like, "That's it." She was like, I mean, you just going on and on. I said, it's not finished. But she never heard the finished product. But I wrote it for her. And then when my father heard it, he was like, oh, I like that. He said, it sounds just like you. I said, well, it is me. He said, well, no, the lyrics is just like you. That's what you say. I said, yeah, no worries. And so, you know, and even to this day, during this pandemic, with all of the chaos and, you know, and even here in the States, I mean, I know you all see the racial injustice and the tension. I still have to say no worries. You know, we're doing what we can. We make our voices heard. But even when you don't hear us, something is going, I just believe that God is going to move, you know, in some mighty way. So no worries. No worries. And thank you for coming my way. That was something that my promoter, Bruce Knight, he said, you need a Christmas song. I was like, and so I gave him one. He was like, you need another one. I'm like, dude, I'm really not in the Christmas mood. It was like June, July. And my favorite female group, I don't know if y'all remember The Emotions.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I love their style. And so they were kind of ringing in my head. And so, you know what? Let me write a song that can be done year round. I mean, it can still be focused, you know, thanking Jesus for coming our way. Thank you for coming to earth, all of that good stuff. But it's got to be a feel good song. I love feel good music.
Yes.
So when you pop my music in, you know, you should be able to, you know, of course, be inspired, be motivated, but it should be feel good music, you know, when you something that you can pop in the car and turn it all the way up and just have a good time. And that's how Thank You for Coming My Way came along. And I led one of Wanda's daughter from The Emotions. She heard it. She was like, it sounds just like my mom and her sisters. I said, I know. So she loves it. The Emotions, they love the song. And I was like, that's when I know I did it right. When they love it, good.
We love it too. We love.
I've been spending some time in deep meditation, thinking about life and all of its temptations. I sure been through some hard situations, but I won't complain. I must admit, yeah, I got a confession. With each experience, I've learned a lesson, and now I will always count my blessings, even in the rain. For I know I am blessed beyond measure. He put the broken pieces of my life back together. His undying love for me I'll always treasure each and every day. Now there must be a reason why I'm still alive, 'cause I can recall the times I thought I would die, but in God's infinite wisdom, He spared my life, so I'm here today. Thank you, Lord. And why He loves me so, I guess I'll never know. Why out of a million it was me He chose, but I'll tell the world wherever I go. I will proudly say that Shonda English is blessed beyond measure. He put the broken pieces of my life back together. His undying love for me I'll always treasure each and every day. I gotta say, oh, I'm blessed beyond measure. He put the broken pieces of my life back together. His undying love for me I'll always treasure.
something, you know, the racial divide right now, and it's hard to love one another. And so, Dave, let's love one another. Talk to us about your music, your track, and, you know, just what you were thinking when you wrote it and what inspired you, because there's a lot going on where people are not loving each other. Tell us about your music.
Yes, I was inspired to write that because there's so much selfishness and so much unkind and so much hatred, and I just felt that we needed a song that would inspire and encourage folks to love and help one another and make things better, because so many folks are going through so much.
Yes.
And it seemed like they are left out and left alone.
Right.
So I want to write a song that really will speak to the hearts of folks, that so they'll be inspired to really care about one another, you know, help one another, show more love, because love is really the answer, because there's too much hatred in the world. Too many folks don't want to help anybody. Too many folks just want to be selfish and get what they can get and forget about everybody else. So I figure if we all come together and show more love and caring and kindness toward one another, it'll just be a better world. So that I came up with that song, Let's Help One Another, because that's the message I want to give to the whole world. And that's gonna make things so much better.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. Thanks. Thank you all for sharing about your music. So from a radio perspective, I'm talking to Lady T now. Now, I know you probably got so many CDs, so many requests to add my music to rotation, play my song. So from a radio perspective, as a radio host, talk us through your process of reviewing what you're looking for, the sound, you know, just talk us through your process of accepting music on any of your shows.
Okay, so where do I start? So for me, I'm very particular when it comes to music, because first of all, I'm all about excellency. Like, that is number one. And when I talk about excellency, I'm talking about just literally from your artwork through to what you do. So for me, it's looking at everything in its whole entirety. So what does your artwork look like? What does your press kit look like? All that kind of stuff. And the way when we used to, the days when we had CDs, where we would get sent CDs and stuff like that. Like, when we looked at a CD and it came through and we saw that it was just like, it looked like it had just been put together in a couple of hours and whatnot. It was just like, yeah, this is not gonna sound right. And 9 times out of 10, we were completely right, because nothing matched. There was nothing synced. There was no, it just wasn't working. So then we wouldn't even touch that. But for me now, still, what your artwork looks like. Is it professionally done? Do you have professional photos done? Is it well designed, first of all? And then if that is, then, you know, then I'm hoping that the music along with it goes. So when I hear something, first of all, I know everybody goes crazy about the beats and, you know, they're like, oh my God, this is such a great beat. But for me, I'm very particular about the lyrics. Like, I'm very, very particular about the lyrics, because if the lyrics is not making sense, or it's not connecting with me, 9 times out of 10, I probably won't play it. And it's funny, because we were actually reviewing a couple of songs with some of the other presenters yesterday, and we were listening to the lyrics, and it was just like, yeah, this isn't working. We can't play this. Like, this isn't working. Like, this. Yeah, no. It was like, nah, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit at all. Right. So, you know, we parked that completely. So yeah, so for me, it's the lyrics. Now, if the lyrics are great and, you know, it's meaningful, there is something, there's what's the word I'm looking for? It has to have some kind of, like, just the spiritual essence to it. And it has to connect. So if it's got that and then the beat matches, then great. But you can have a great beat and really trash lyrics, or trash lyrics and nothing. If both those two don't go well, if they're not in sync, I can't play it. I just can't, because at the end of the day, I need to think of my listeners. this is the Christian or the gospel radio station. They're looking for wholesome music. So they're looking from everything from the music to the lyrics. Everything has to match. And if that's not matching, if me as a presenter is not matching, what is that going to do to them? Because I'm also thinking about their I don't know, I guess the spiritual process, their faith process, like, you know, what are they going through at that time or something? And I don't want to now play something really crap and then they'll be like, what is this? And then that's one listener gone. So I'm very particular about like what the listener is going to like. Sometimes we get it right, sometimes we don't get it right. But majority of the time, I think we've all got very good discerning spirits in terms of like good music. So for me, if it has to both match, like for instance, so we've got Sai here now he's a rapper, and you know, sometimes rappers don't really get a look into whatsoever, like they're often just kind of like, oh, it's a rapper, and like, nah, I'm not quite sure, no. But luckily for us, there are a lot of presenters on the station who like rap music as well. So for me, I'm like, I'm gonna listen to this. And when he sent his stuff, it looked great, like the image was great. In fact, I think it was which one was the one I caught? My God, the one with the triangle and with the stars, which one was that one?
None Like Him.
Yeah. I saw that one. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So I listened to it and I was just like, okay, like, wow. Not only is the way what his content was great, so the delivery was great, the way the story was great as well. So all those things match. And then for me, I'm like, yeah, I can deal with this. I can play this. And then I was playing it and then I featured it as well, you know, and I featured all of these other songs. And then when you're consistent like that, you will get played on radio, and it depends on the radio as well. So for me, it has to be the package right from your visuals. If the visuals are not matching, 9 times out of 10, the song won't. I mean, you can have great visuals and then the song doesn't match. But for me, I will still listen to it. But if it doesn't work, then I can't play it. I mean, I have a list where I have yes music, maybe music, and no. That's like, so that I know, like, okay, yes, no, or maybe still thinking about it. We'll see. I'll put it to the other people. So yeah, so those things from right there, I need to know that everything works together. Because again, it's about excellency. Like we're trying to, so sometimes Christians think that you can, you know, just because you're doing it for God, you can do whatever. But no, like God desires excellency from us. Jesus requires excellency from us from day one. We have to do things righteously, or whatever, you know, how he said it to be. So that includes your music. If you can go to work and do things in excellency and keep your job, then what's stopping you from doing it with your music as well? You have to put that excellency in every single thing that you do as a Christian. Because if a non-Christian was to come and see your work, it will like, what, you're supposed to be a Christian, but why does it look like this? Why is it sounding like this? So you have to come correct. You have to come with excellency. And also, if the music doesn't fit what the station is trying to produce, then I won't play it either, because it's the wrong form, it's the wrong genre, and we can't play that. Otherwise, it's going to go outside of what we're trying to do as well. So, so those are the things that I look for: visuals, lyrics, and then production as well. Production has to be great as well. If it's not, nah. So yeah, hope that has helped, you know, kind of thing. Yeah. And
that's very helpful.
And of course, now the stage that we're in now, everything has to be digital. So you have to send like digital like EPKs and formats and stuff like that. Send MP3s to stations. Don't do WAVs. Like I detest WAV files because they're so deep, they're so big, it clogs up your thing, your drive. MP3s are fine, or just stream it, or give a streaming link for us and then give us the option. But don't just send WAV files because they're a pain. No presenters like WAV files. MP3s are the best.
To know. MP3 files. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's great. That's great insight into your process of accepting music. Thanks for that. Thank you.
No worries at all. Pleasure.
Yeah, I totally agree with 99%.
What's the 1%? let's talk about the 1%.
Right, so 99%. No, it's great. I mean, everybody. The 1% is the difference that every radio presenter has in their own ship. Everyone has their own reasons for playing things. That's the 1%. otherwise, you're bang on. For me, it's the production. I listen before I play a track on my show. I listen to it 3, 4, maybe 5 times. Yeah, I listen to it in my car. Listen to it on here. Listen to it here, there, because that's where your listeners are listening to that track from, right? And when you play someone's track, they're representing you on radio. So the tracks aren't played lightly, and just the same as yourself. There are a lot of tracks that I don't play, because the sound's not right, the production's not right, or no, the lyrics may be, or something like that. So, Lady T, I really, really agree with everything you're saying.
I'll add one more thing as well. I'll add one more thing, because you talked about production, and I know for me, production is a huge thing after lyrics and stuff like that. For me, if the music has not caught my attention in the first, let's say 30 seconds, I don't know for the rest of the track, because I'll just be like, okay, this isn't not really that great. And one thing is, I know hate is such a big word, it's such a big and strong word, but I really, really dislike long intros. Why you got to do a minute intro? Get into the song after 30 seconds. I can't deal with it, because you're wasting my time, and then also you're wasting your listeners' time as well. Like, come on, get into the music. What is it that you're trying to convey? What is it that you're trying to tell us? What story are you trying to let us know? And then I have to wait a minute and a half until you start singing, or you do No, get in there for 30 seconds, and then we're good to go. Because otherwise, I'm just like, and the thing is with presenters, our attention spans in terms of like time and space is very limited. It's like that. This is the window you have to catch our attention straight away. You don't catch it in that window, chances are like it's just going to be like, I'm not. It's not going to happen. Likely not going to happen. But yeah, the first 30 seconds of a track so important. And then there are tracks where like, even though they have like 40 seconds they start into the song, sometimes I'll still listen. I'll still give it that grace. I will still listen to the song. And then it's just like, then I have to decide, okay, am I going to really want to play this on air? Does this still fit? Sometimes I'll say yes, sometimes I'll say no, but it's just, you just gotta catch us off off the bat real quickly with the music. Because if it doesn't, then you will struggle. And you will struggle with getting your song played on air and stuff like that. And and my ears, and sometimes some presenters' ears might not be akin to that like particular style. So it's just like, and sometimes like that can happen, which is really bad. And sometimes I really feel like presenters need to be able to have an open ear for different styles of music, so that you can appreciate it in its entirety. Because if you just focus on one, then it's just like you can't appreciate some other great ones as well. Like, a friend sent me a track and it was just like, it was great. I thought the song was great, but for me, it was a grower. I didn't like it instantly. It's like, it took a few more plays for me to say, oh, okay, you know what? That's actually not a bad track. It's actually okay. And she was surprised about that. I'm like, but yeah, that happens to quite a lot of tracks as well. Like, I'm not going to like off the bat. It will take me a while. Right. It's a grower. So I call this track grower tracks. And it was a grower, honestly, because it happens. So yeah, sometimes a track might take me a little bit longer, but still catch us in the first 30 seconds, even if it's a grow. So yeah.
Great point. First 30 seconds counts. Yeah. Totally.
It's good. Yeah. And I love the messages in all of your songs. And Dave, let's love one another. Let's help one another is big right at the moment. So, thank you for that song. I think it's tremendous. Thank you for coming our way. Restoration, all of them, I love them.
Oh, wow. All amazing.
But, these forums and these platforms, everything are great, but I've got a little antidote to find out just a little bit more about each of you, and it's a little game that I like to play.
Oh wow, let me sit up for this one.
Sorry guys, you sit up now. Okay, so it's just a question. I fire a little question out at you, and then you answer accordingly. Right? Quick fire questions. Lady T, you're in it as well. You're not getting away with this. All right.
Oh yeah, totally, totally.
Oh, boom. Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Okay.
So, just quick fire questions. All right. So, Carol, do you want to join in on this?
Yeah, I've got some questions actually for Cy and Dave. So.
Okay. So I'll take Lady T and Shonda. You take Cy and Dave.
Okay.
All right. So, Shonda.
Why am I always first? Okay.
Because we love you, Shonda. That's
Okay.
So simple, and just answer as you see fit. Okay. So Shonda, simple question: flowers or chocolates?
Chocolate.
Okay.
Chocolate's chocolate.
Forget the flowers.
Okay. So we'll go. Okay. So Lady T. Dress or two-piece suit?
Two-piece suit. I'm not. I don't like dresses. Although, like my mom and my sister and my stylist, they really want to get me into a lot of dresses. I'm like, nah. I'm slowly starting to get into dresses. Like, buy a couple of pieces, but on any day, 2 pieces. I'm good. Yeah, and it's not with trousers as well. 2 pieces, I'm good. Good. That's the
Okay.
and with sneakers as well. Not necessarily with heels, but again, they'll have something to say about that as well.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Shonda, coming back at you. Okay.
We're not going to the guys yet? Okay.
No, not yet. Not yet. There's another one for you. Okay. So Shonda, book or film?
That's a hard one. I'm going to say film. I might fall asleep reading if it's a boring book. I might fall asleep watching too if it's a boring film. I don't know. I'm going to say film.
Okay.
Love it.
That's funny. Okay, so Lady T. Okay, so your taste buds, yeah?
Okay.
Kentucky or McDonald's?
Ooh, oh my gosh. And to think I've had both in the last month. I had both. Oh,
wow.
I think.
Oh.
See, I prefer McDonald's chips to KFC chips. But in this entirety, I'm gonna go for KFC. Yeah.
KFC. Okay.
Yeah. They're good.
Definitely.
They're vegan burger. They're vegan burgers, actually, all right? You know, I've tried that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, I've never heard that. just chicken for me, just a chicken.
Straight.
Okay,
Burgers
Dave.
are great. Burgers are great.
Dave, I see you have a hat on already, and one of my questions for you was going to be baseball cap or rimmed hat?
Rim hat.
Rimmed hat. All right, I thought so. All right.
What, like a Trilby or a Stetson or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I can see that. Cy.
Yeah.
Cy. Hotel or Airbnb?
Hotel.
Hotel or the
Yeah, hotel. Straight. I don't even need to think about that one.
With you on that.
Yeah.
All right. Dave.
Yes.
Photograph or artwork? Like printed artwork?
Photograph.
Photograph? All right. Cy. Mac or PC?
I'm personally going to go PC. I think most people go Mac, but I've used PCs. It's a comfort thing, you know. I've used PCs forever,
Yeah.
and I'm just comfortable with that, you know.
Yeah, me too.
I know I'll get paid for that answer because I know Macs are probably.
You know what? I agree with Cy because up until October last year, I was PC throughout. Like I said, never Mac, never Mac, never Mac. Guess what I'm using right this second?
A Mac.
Yeah.
Using a Mac.
I had to.
High five.
I had to.
Boom, right there.
No, I can now,
Yeah.
but if it was left for me, it would have been with a different, something as powerful as a Mac, but it's doing what I need to do at the moment. So I'm just like, okay,
cool. Well, listen, this has been an awesome time. Before we wrap up, I'm going to give you each a few minutes just to share however you want to share. There's people watching on social media all over the world. Whatever you'd like to say to them or leave with them, or if you have a new release coming out soon, share your social media where they can find you online. And of course, we'll include your social media at a later time. But, we're going to give you the last few minutes just to share to all those watching and listening. And we're going to start with the guys. Shonda. So we'll go with Cy, Dave, Shonda, then Lady T. All right?
Yeah, thanks, Carol. Thanks, Miles. Just want to say thank you for being on here, for having me on here. It's been really, really enjoyable, and it's just so much experience in the room as well. So it's been great to learn from you guys. I want to say a big thank you to Lady T as well. I didn't realize actually she was going to be on here till I saw on my Facebook this morning, literally. So Lady T's been really supportive. As I said, I've only been doing this for less than a year in terms of publicly releasing stuff. I'm really enjoying the journey. So I've got lots more music coming. I've just released my second music video track called Signs, with another UK rapper, very, very talented guy called Daper. He's got some solo material coming out, so do check him out. Big shout out to Daper, good friend of mine as well. I'm going to be releasing a project coming up as well, and some more singles. So yeah, please do check out my music. I'm trying to do something a bit different in the UK as well. In terms of the lyrical theology and the storytelling raps that I'm bringing out. I also am going to be working with some more vocalists as well. So big shout out to Shan, who was singing on Kingdom Restoration and The Third Day, and I've got some other friends who are going to be featuring as well. So yeah, love for you to check my music out. I've got an eclectic sound, so I'm going to be experimenting with different kind of stuff. Some of it's fast, some of it's slower. And just sharing a bit more of myself as well. I'm going to be bringing some music out that's a bit more vulnerable as well, just getting into me as a person and some of the life challenges and things we all face. So yeah, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Cy Nightly, and yeah, thanks a lot for the opportunity, and thanks again to Lady T. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Awesome.
I'd just like to say thanks for having me. I really enjoyed being with Carol, you and Miles. Looking forward to meeting Miles. He's the inspiration to me.
Oh.
I just enjoyed the show today. It was great and so much good information. And just keep up the good work, Carol, Miles. Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, we will.
And I'm going to keep blessing that. You can find me on www.daveshirleymusic.com, and I just released a new video called Prayer Changes Things. Prayer changes things, because we really need prayer, because we definitely need some things to be changed today. I know you agree.
Yes.
Yeah, totally.
Just thank God for opening doors and pouring out blessing. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed everything. God bless you.
Thank you.
You.
Is it my turn?
It is. I'm going to call you Lady Shonda.
Oh my goodness. Well, first of all, thank you, Carol, Miles. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure listening to Lady T, Cy Nightly, and Dave Shirley. Definitely, we got to connect. And just want to encourage the viewers to hang in there. There's a song I wrote back in 2003, 4, somewhere around there. called Blessing in Your Pressing. And the lyrics, so you say that you're tired, you're weary, but you can't give up now. Believe when you pray that God's going to fix it somehow, for there is work to do. A reward waits for you. There's a blessing. My daddy always said, winners never quit, quitters never win. So you just got to keep going. Even when you don't want to go, you got to keep going.
Amen.
That's
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
Well, I guess that leaves me. So I think for me, I would say just know why you're getting into what you're doing, first of all, because it's so important as to why you're really wanting to do this music ministry thing. And you have to remember as well, as much as ministry, you have to understand the business side of it. Don't go into, it's like, I always say this, that if you're going to go for an interview, you got to be prepared, right? Do your research about the company. So do your research about the market that you're about to enter. First of all, know that has God really called you to do it? Because if he has, then then you won't worry about, not getting into certain places, because it will be a journey and it will be a faith thing as well. So just know that, just figure out why you're doing what you're doing. Like I said, make sure that you're operating in excellence. It's very, very important. Know you yourself as an artist, who you are, know who your market is. Understand your audience as well, understand the market that you're getting into. It's very, very important as well. And then also, as you're launching as an artist as well, make sure that everything is right. When you've got the basics, the groundwork, that this is what you're meant to do, you're going into it. Make sure that everything looks right. Make sure that your branding is on point. Make sure that your styling is on point. Make sure that your music is on point, your lyrics, your writing, and, find other people to collaborate with. Very important. Like, there is so much power in collaboration. And I kind of called it towards the end of last year to this year. I said 2021 is going to be a year of collaboration. Collaborate as much as you can with other artists, as possible as well. When it comes to radio stuff, get your stuff together correctly. If you need to get it professionally done, get it professionally done. There are people who can do that, who can help you to do that. When you're sending your music to radio stations, make sure that you have a very well presented EPK, which has your name, the title of the song, maybe a little bit about you, about the song that you're writing as well, your social media handles, the link to the MP3 to download as well, your website details. And it doesn't have to be super, super like packed. Those simple things, fine. That's all a radio presenter needs in terms of like collecting, wanting to hear the music, and make sure it's beautifully presented as well. That's so important. Get to know the radio stations as well. Make sure that if you're sending your music to a radio station, it actually plays the song that you're doing, because there's no point in you sending a pop song to a station that plays rock. It's not even going to work. They'll just be like, nope, straight delete. That's where it's going. It's going in the trash. So make sure that you just research the station that you're going to. If they play a range of genres, then great. If they don't, just keep it moving, do your research. Make sure that you research online blog platforms as well, media platforms, Christian ones or gospel ones. There's lots out there as well. So whether you're UK, US, they're out there as well. Research into that. Just basically do your groundwork when in terms of getting your music out there. Look for like the streaming sites. Who's going to be able to distribute your music. And if you're coming into this thinking you want to get a record deal, don't even just forget it. Like this is not the one. As a gospel artist, if you're looking for a record deal, forget it. It's probably it's actually best for you to be an independent artist, because there's lots of great independent artists who are making it and don't need a label. If they end up needing a label help, it's just distribution. You get to the stage where it's just about distribution. That's what it is. But in terms of signing to a label, I wouldn't recommend it. Just don't, because labels don't really do much for you these days anymore. Well, they kind of do. They still have some power, but you have more power as an independent. They can just push you in certain markets that you're trying to reach. So you sign a distribution deal that's in your favor, not necessarily not in your favor. So make sure that you get the right people behind you. What else? And just make sure that you have a great team around you. You've got a great producer. You have maybe some co-writers that you have. What else? You've got a great team, great PR person, a manager. Sometimes you might need a manager, you might not need a manager. Someone to do your marketing as well. Make sure that your marketing is on point. very, very important. And just, and get to know lots of different people in the media as well, because building a relationship with certain presenters or platforms is so important, because when you do that, they might look for you, or help you to push something in another platform, or they might recommend something for you as well. Like I first met Sai when he did a competition during knee deep in lockdown last year, and he did like a freestyle for a competition. He didn't quite win, but after that he still kept in touch and said, hey, I'm going to release some music. I said, cool. He eventually did, sent it, and I'm like, wow, so this is what you really sound like. And then since then, it's just like, okay, cool. So whenever he's releasing music, he hits me up and say, I've got some music coming. I'm like, okay, cool. Let me listen to it. Let me tell me what you think, blah, blah, blah. So that type of relationship with radio stations or presenters is very, very important. Like I can't explain how important it is for a relationship between an artist and a radio presenter is. Like, it helps. And not just send them music, check up on them. Hey, how you doing? Advice here and there if they ask for it. That kind of stuff is really important. So so those are the things I would kind of like say to for artists to do, and that just know who you are, know your brand, know your foundation, and keep pursuing. Some will say yes, some will say no. Be ready for that rejection, because if you can't take the rejection, then you certainly aren't going to grow. You're not going to like pursue any further, because you're going to end up hating a lot of people, like having enemies. Oh, they don't play my music. Oh, they don't do this. Nah, do you know what? Sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no. It's just the nature of the game. And it's the same thing with mainstream. Mainstream do that as well. So just know that when you're sending stuff to like a Christian platform or whatever, just know that they're still operating a business. They're still operating with standards. So get that. You just need to deal with that completely. So those are the things I would say. But and just keep doing you, man. The right ears will get to your music. It'll get into the right places eventually. Just keep at it, and and I think another thing is, don't just rely on the income for your music. Find other sources of income. So important. Don't just rely on music, because if you see all the bigger artists, brand partnerships, they're doing this, they're selling that, bringing out their own lines, and do you know what I mean? So don't just rely on music to bring an income. To find other sources as well, because that will help fund your music as well, or anything else that you want to do. So I think
awesome. You're all a wealth of knowledge in your own right, but thank you so much for sharing. And I know we're going to have a treat as we close our time and say goodbye to everyone. I believe Dave has got a couple of lines of a song he wants to sing. Is that right, Dave?
Oh yeah.
As you're preparing,
you thought we forgot about it, Dave.
Just before we close out, Dave is going to close us with his song, and we will bid you goodbye from now, and then we'll be saying goodbye to our watchers and our listeners. So Miles, I'll let you say the thank yous.
So thank you so much, Shonda.
Thank you.
Sai, Lady T.
Pleasure.
Carol. Oh no, you're already okay. Thank you, everyone. It's been absolutely fantastic. I hope you'll join us for more of our C&M media selection of goodies that we're going to be serving up over the coming months. And this is what we do. We connect the US with the UK, and we are a media organization that is there to inform and help and support as well. We're in a situation where everybody's back to the walls, and Lady T said this earlier, collaboration is the key. It really, really is. And so that's what C&M Media is all about, collaborating. So thank you very much for being with us today. And I really, really am excited to meet you all in person.
Really.
Yeah, definitely.
That will be good. And you are all going to be involved in our best of the best concert that's going to be happening at some point All right.
Awesome.
Sounds great.
go.
Sounds great.
Thank you. We will make sure we share all of your social media,
Yeah.
and we re-edit the videos, and we'll make sure it's all on there. So re-watch this interview, and you'll see the extra bits and pieces that we put in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
God
It's been an
bless.
absolute pleasure. Thank you
Dave's
so
going to
much.
sing us
Yes.
out. Dave's going to sing us out. Thank you all.
Awesome.
God bless.
God bless.
Hey there, my brother. Hello, my sister. Say you're having a bad day. Well, nothing seems to be going your way. You're all stressed out and confused, and you don't know what to do. But listen, I have good news for you. This is what you need to do. Take it to the Lord in prayer. Leave all your burdens there. Prayer changes things. Yeah.
Amen.
Prayer changes things. Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Love it.
Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you all. It's been a pleasure and a joy. And we will be in touch soon, okay?
God bless. One love, y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
bless you.
God bless you guys.
Take
God bless
care
you guys.
now.
Great seeing you all.
Bye.
Right. Bless you.
God bless.
C&M, linking us together. C&M, for your international media.